What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and Happy New Year. I am Love Coach Scott Catamas, and I am honored to be the host of The Awakening World. And I want to welcome all of you. A big hello to our friends in the Zoom room. I see a lot of our regulars are with us, and I see some new friends as well. Let us know where you are geographically. It's always interesting to see that. I know that I see people from South Florida to San Diego, all the way down to Ecuador and all the way up to British Columbia. So it's really pretty amazing. I want to also welcome all of you who are watching on our new broadcast partner, the Conscious Awakening Network. Those of you watching on Soul Search. And yes, Tanjila is with us, and we're going to see her in a moment. Also, those of you watching on YouTube, thank you to our different broadcast partners, including Alan Steinfeld and his YouTube channel. And also, thank you to John and Summer Raymer. They put us out to over 100 Facebook groups and pages through their Sign network. That's S-I-N-E. So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or Conscious Awakening Network, come on into our Zoom room. Come join the Global Peace Tribe. And it's really easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. You'll see where it says join the new season right here. And when you join the new season, when you click that little box, it'll take you to the registration page. Now, we do 3 or 4 shows every weekend. And starting next year, we're going to be doing a midweek show on Wednesday nights. So when you register, you're going to get all the links to all of our shows taking you through till April 1st. So come and join us. So for example, this is the show we're doing tonight. We're celebrating Unsung Heroes and Future Heroes. And you're going to meet those people in a moment. Tomorrow night, we've got a pair of New Year's Eve programs. It's like a 5-hour extravaganza, starting with Shri and Kira and Omashar and I down in Ecuador, and going all the way through. So tomorrow's going to be a very special event. So register now so you can get all the links for that. And then on Sunday, we will be visioning together this new year. So come register now and join the Global Peace Tribe. And we've got a lot of wonderful things planned. And speaking of wonderful things planned, my favorite person to co-create with is here, Tanjila. And of course, Tanjila is the founder of Soul Search. You're going to learn all about Soul Search today. If you don't already know, you want to join Global Peace Tribe, and you definitely want to join Soul Search, because that is the way to really be connected to the incredible things happening. So welcome, Tanjila. It's really good to have you.
Thank you, Scott. Hi, Scott. Hi, everyone. Happy New Year. It's so exciting to be with everyone. I see so many of our all-time Global Peace Tribe friends joining in, and just so wonderful to be closing out 2022. Like, what an incredible year it's been for all of us, and especially, Global Peace Tribe first retreat ever in Sedona, and, so much happening with all of us, and then really looking forward to what we're all co-creating together in community in 2023. So just really excited to be here. And hi, Charlotte and Karen and so many others. So great to see you all.
Yeah, and we are going to talk a little bit about how I think we might do another retreat as early as late March, early April. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But let me tell you who else we've got on the show tonight. One of our absolute favorite artists, Nina Grae, is with us. And we're going to hear Nina sing, but we're also going to really honor her because she is a wonderful, wonderful force who's really committed to social activism in the most wonderful ways through her beautiful heart and through her beautiful voice. So welcome, Nina.
Hi, so happy to be here.
It's great to have you with us. We're also going to be honoring Paul Draper. Now, many of you who are regulars have seen Paul doing magic, but we are also going to honor that he did 500 plus free shows during the pandemic, supporting people who are isolated. So talk about an unsung hero. Paul, you're the man. You the man. And we have a future unsung hero, a future hero, and this is Vaidehi. And we had her on the show recently, and I was just so impressed with who she is and what she's doing in the world. And so welcome, Vaidehi. Yeah. Can you hear us? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. It is raining and storming right now here in Santa Cruz. So if there's a bit of a delay, just know that's why. I live in the woods, but it's such a pleasure to be here and to meet all the wonderful heroes that are here tonight and to be reunited with both of you again, our hosts.
Oh, great to be with you. Good to have you with us. And then finally, of course, we have Omashar with us. And so that's exciting. And I just want to acknowledge all of the wonderful people I see, so many of our friends. I'm going to put some of them on the spotlight. There is the wild abbot of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry Anderson's with us. Another Reverend Jeffrey Colebrook, who we can count on to be leading some dance for us. I think I saw the newlyweds come popping in, Connie and Andrew, so maybe we'll get a chance. There she is. There she is, our favorite newlywed, Connie, and many, many other friends from the Global Peace Tribe. So we have a wonderful show. And to get things started, I'm going to turn it over to our wonderful, beloved Omashar to start us off with some wonderful music.
That would be me, and namaste, aloha, and almost happy new year. The song I'm going to play is called Contemplate. And I've chosen it because the opening line is contemplating everything I knew. It seems as though there's not much left that I want to hold on to. So it rhymes, that's a good thing. And let's get on with it. I'm just going to change a few things. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew. Though there's not much left that I would hold on to. Contemplating what is pure and true. Sun and moon and earth and stars and water, light and two. We are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Glad to know we're coming home again. Open hearts and open minds and open doors and loving friends. Look at the one who's standing by you now. Destiny is in our hands, so leave the density behind. And we are rising, soaring, flying, living life so free. We are flowing, changing, growing, loving all we see. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew, seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to. Contemplating what is pure and true. Sun and moon and stars and light and earth and water too. Turning to the face of those who need the light of truth to help them turn the other cheek and turn around. Lift each other up into the highest point of view so that together we can move to higher ground. Contemplating everything I knew, seems as though there's not much left that I would hold on to.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Romashar. What a wonderful way, as always, to start our show. And I love that's a good. I don't think I've heard that song before.
It's still being written because I wrote it about 8-9 weeks ago, and every time I play it, I see how it feels, and especially when I see people dancing, I go, okay, I can rearrange that to make it even more juicy. So yeah, thank you. Contemplate. It's on my Lightness of Being album, due out the first quarter of this coming year.
Beautiful. And a reminder, once again, everybody, if you have not already, please go to omashar.bandcamp.com and get his albums so we can listen to his music and support him, because obviously Omashar has become such a wonderful part of our show. So thank you very much, Omashar, for being with us. And we will have more Omashar coming up at the end of the show. So welcome, everybody. So here we are. We're getting ready to conclude another year. And as I was putting together the show for tonight, I really wanted to kind of give a preview of what I'm imagining for the awakening world in the future. And I really want us to celebrate more diversity. So I'm wanting to have a greater diversity of age, a greater diversity of ethnic background, a greater diversity of hosts and co-hosts. And I was delighted when Tanjila agreed to come and co-host with me for today's show. And I think most of you know Tanjila, but if you don't, a big part of Tanjila is what she has created, which is Soul Search. And to learn a little bit more about it, let's take a quick look at this video.
During these extraordinary times, are you seeking friends and collaborators, like-minded, brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth? Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness, where people from around the globe like you come together for spiritual exploration. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. You can explore high vibrational online and in-person spiritual events across the globe. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Build your credibility with a robust profile that demonstrates your expertise and experience. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of our high vibrational community for the global awakening. We're excited to be connecting with your soul and radiant light.
Beautiful. I want to say, Tanjila, you really are doing double duty. You're here as a co-host, but you are really also here as a hero. You're a little bit unsung and definitely future, a little bit of both. I don't know anyone other than myself who does as much as Tanjila. She is putting together psychic fairs and online events and Soul Search and supporting so many people in your community. You do an amazing job of supporting people. And as one community builder to another, I really honor you, Tanjila.
Oh, thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate you and everything that you have done to really lead the way in creating such a vibrant and beautiful online global community for spirituality and consciousness. And you and Deborah started Global Peace Tribe during the pandemic, bringing people together. And with Soul Search, it's beautiful because we have just merged together, to really support our work and continue to build our community wider and wider and wider. And, what I love doing is building that community, whether it's through online shows like yours, online conferences and events that people from all over the world can attend, as well as local gatherings such as the psychic fairs, and supporting our partners events like, you're hosting the retreats or Portal to Ascension conferences. So, there's so many opportunities for people now to find others. And that's what I love. Every time we're hosting these events, I just love seeing people coming and saying, oh my goodness, I'm not alone. I have other people that I can connect with. I have other people who can understand me, who can support me in my spiritual awakening and my spiritual journey. And I just think right now we're at this time of, for humanity where that's just so important. And for us to be able to create that community together and build that community of friendship, it's just, it's super exciting. I've loved seeing all of these relationships blossom and grow this past year, and can't wait for what's in store for 2023.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being my co-pilot. And, really, I so enjoy collaborating with you in so many different ways. Yeah. And I know we're already cooking up some fun stuff for the new year. So,
always,
and
we've always got something going on.
Exactly. Well, I want to introduce you to your long lost cousin. I tell you, this is Vaidehi is really special. And to get a little sense of her, I'm going to go straight to a video that she sent us. It's very short, just to see her doing a little bit of her singing and dancing. Then I'll introduce her to our audience and we'll hear from her. But here is Vaidehi action.
love so you never regret. And you'll always be sublime, this is what I bet. Yeah.
So there she is in action. Vaidehi is, she's a creative entrepreneur. And what I love is how she's so committed to her practice and to her traditions and bringing her traditions to new audiences. So welcome, Vaidehi.
Thank you. It's really an honor to be here with so many talented and amazing artists, musicians, and really change makers of this planet. It's really, really a very special task, right? To dedicate ourselves and everything that we have to try to remind everyone, including ourselves and each other, that we are soul, that we are eternal, and that no matter how thick and dark and intense this world might get, we don't have to succumb to the suffering that comes from that, because we're so much more powerful than anything that is materially limiting. And so this music is mantra, and it's meant to illuminate consciousness, illuminate soul, and to essentially sprinkle the vibrational frequency of that transcendental plane into the mainstream world through the music culture, the festival culture, which is, that clip that you see right there was me at a festival. This summer I performed at over 12 festivals, and it was my first summer sharing my music on festival stages after having been working on these songs for about 4 years. So I know that tonight specifically, I'm not alone in this kind of endeavor. And so it's a real honor to even be here with all of you and to share that.
Well, thank you. Now, I know you were raised in the Bhakti yoga tradition and you're carrying it forward, as we can see, in beautiful ways. But for anyone who's not familiar with Bhakti yoga, please share with us a little bit about the history and your relationship to it.
Yeah, of course. Good question and good starting point. And thank you, Nina. Thank you, everyone that's commenting here. It's so fun to see them popping up, all the comments. So yeah, the word bhakti means devotion, and yoga means to yoke, to link, or to connect with the divine. And really, that is the dharma, the duty of the soul, is to connect with the divine. And so the principles of bhakti yoga revolve around this premise. And that is that every soul, every living being has a divine, unique relationship with God, goddess, with the divine. And that the religion of the soul is to develop love of God. And that in this particular age, according to the bhakti yoga tradition and to the Vedas, which is this age being known as the age of Kali Yuga, the dark age, if you will. And there's so much more information about all of that in the Vedas and the Vedic scriptures and the Bhagavad Gita. But it's really to develop a connection with the divine through the principles of the 9 processes of bhakti, which begin with Shravanam, Kirtanam, hearing and chanting. And so we see the power that music has to uplift and to change our vibrational frequency, right? We've seen and heard about these experiments that people do with water and the different vibrational frequencies with plants. And for example, just hearing the music at the very beginning of the show, right? Feeling the chills and feeling immediately, gosh, whatever I've been, suffering from, this music is bringing some inspiration. And so this concept that the divine plane and that connection to divinity is coming in to this material existence through sound, which is why we see so many, religious and spiritual cultures, they all sing, right? It's a universal truth, it's a universal principle. And there's so much more to the Bhakti philosophy, but that is really the essence, is that God, goddess, right? In the Bhakti tradition, we honor both God and goddess, that they are ultimately our friends, right? We have that divine connection that we can develop. And through chanting, through hearing, we can literally Cheto Darpana Marjanam, cleanse the mirror of the mind and be able to see our reality from that perspective, from that divinity, right? Seeing that, as my grandfather Guru would always say, every wave of the environment is favorable, and that, ultimately the universe is conspiring in your favor. So you can see that not a blade of grass moves without the will of the supreme being. And when we can begin to integrate this understanding into our everyday life, and one of the expressions that is really the principal instruction of the Bhakti tradition is Trinad Api Suni Chena Taror Eva Sahi Snuna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari, and that is Bengali expression. And it means one who's humbler than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree, and who gives due honor to others without desiring it for themselves. This person is always qualified to sing the divine name and to receive that divinity within the heart of the temple. And so this practice of remembering who we are in relationship to the divine. And so to answer the second part of your question, this, anything and everything that I'm doing with this music, with sharing this message, is really a reminder for myself, my identity and who I am and what is my foundation. And my relationship to Bhakti Yoga has been a blessing in this lifetime, that has been given to me by my mother, who raised me in this tradition, and by my guru, who I feel they both conspired together to inspire me to engage all of the artistic gifts and qualities that I may have been given in divine service. And so that is my relationship to the Bhakti Yoga practice and tradition, is to become an instrument of that divine plane through everything that I do. And in this particular case, through music, and also through what I've created to be the platform where I can share these gifts. I call it Goddess Moon Temple, through mentorship and coaching and movement practices and the programs that I create, the moon ceremonies, as a way to be able to relay this beautiful philosophy in a tangible and accessible way to others.
Beautiful, Vaidehi. Thank you so much. I love the clip you played of, your singing and dancing. It was just so vibrant. Can you tell us a little bit more about, your music and the traditions that you're drawing from? Because I saw a lot of different traditions blending together, both in your singing and dancing. So I'd love to just learn more about all of that.
Ooh, I love this question. It's such a fun question for me. And I'll tell you that it's been a journey, actually. There's a journey behind the answer to this question. And I love that you asked that. So I'm actually from Venezuela. I'm from South America, right? Caribbean culture. So I have this Caribbean, dance kind of energy moving through me, right? When I hear a drum, it's over. I'm gone. Like, I'm gone, right? And then I'm also of Middle Eastern descent, right? So I have that kind of, I'm, without having grown up in Lebanon, I'm very Lebanese. I've heard from Lebanese friends, and I'm like, that's interesting. And then I was raised in this tradition that comes from India, and lived in temples my whole life, and grew up listening to all the chants and all the songs and the traditional kirtans, right? And they're mainly sung in Sanskrit and in Bengali, because our tradition comes from West Bengal. So we are Vaishnavs, but Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So that means, devotees of Vishnu through the way of West Bengal, right? Through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known to be an incarnation of Radha and Krishna. So the divine masculine and feminine as one. And so for many years, having known that as a child, my mom being a missionary, that this was a part of my path, right? This kind of renounced order as a missionary, traveling the world, speaking about bhakti, living in the temples, waking up in the morning, doing the ceremonies, the puja. So there was a very regimented and, focused upbringing. But then there's also the Vaidehi, that's this like diva artist, singing, dancing person that loves to express. And those two personalities have been in conflict for a very, very long time. I would often get scolded by the older women in the puja ceremonies and the kirtans because I would be dancing and they're like, stop, you're drawing too much attention. And I was like, why are we allowed to sing? So I've always been kind of questioning, right? And pushing the envelope in regards to, how can we embody our full expression and artistic expression and purpose and also be spiritual, right? Without it seeming like a material thing. And so for many years, I contemplated being in the renounced order and just traveling and speaking about bhakti, which I did do. And then it kind of, one of my friends had taken the renounced order, the saffron cloth, and she had made this vow of lifelong celibacy and missionary work. And I had just arrived to Calcutta from Thailand to receive a shipment of DVDs. I got my degree in multimedia communications and film. So I was making documentaries and shooting and editing videos about spiritual life. And I had to go back to Calcutta to receive this shipment. And I was all by myself, and everyone was in Thailand with my guru, traveling with him, which is where I had just been. And I thought to myself, am I supposed to take the renounced order? Like, I know that I want to dedicate my life to sharing this message. And then I was like, please answer me. And I sat down and got into a meditative state. And then it was almost like a record scratch. And I was like, I didn't take saffron cloth because of what? And what I had seen in my mind was me on stage with a mic flipping my hair. And I was like, what? What is that? And deep down inside, I knew. And so fast forward to now, owning and claiming the voice and having experienced singing the traditional songs my whole life and being a lover of hip hop, what ended up happening is, a beat played and I couldn't but sing something that had to do with that tradition. One of my first songs, it's called Kamala Dala Jala, and a beat was played, and just this, it came out of me. Kamala Dala Jala Jeevana Tala Mala Bajahu Hari Para Niti De Bajahu Hari Para. And I was like, okay, right? So that's pretty much how I developed that music. It just, the love for hip hop and trap and that bassy thing, but I don't like the content, right? And so now I get to create that kind of music with the content that uplifts. And I get to bring my culture, my Caribbean culture, my Middle Eastern culture, and my upbringing in the, if you will, the Indian culture through mantra and sacred hymn.
It's so interesting that both you and Tanjila are on this show, because Tanjila also has an amazing diversity of influences culturally and ethnically. So I think between the two of you, you've got, you're like the United Nations together.
Yes.
No, I love it. I love your whole story. And I'm so happy you shared that with all of us, Vaidehi, because I think for so many of us, and especially, from whatever generation you come from, we grew up with very specific definitions of spirituality. And often that revolves around a religion. Yours was in Bhakti Yoga, mine was in Islam, someone else might be Catholic, Buddhist, it doesn't matter. But so many of us grew up in those definitions. And then we are in this process of trying to find where we fit in within that structure that, you know, no longer fits us in all of who we are, right? So, you know, I love your journey because you know, you are so obviously devoted to bhakti yoga and really love it so much and see all it has to offer. But then you've also brought in, you know, the hip hop and the you know, the Latin and the Caribbean and the movement and, you know, the goddess empowerment, all of that into who and what you're doing. So like, you know, like you're defining bhakti yoga for you, which is what I love, because that's what this is all about. That's what spirituality is about in this age. It's like, what is it for you? It doesn't actually matter what it is for anyone else. It's just what it is. What is it for you and how are you creating it?
Yeah. We're going to take a look at one last clip of Vaidehi, and then we actually have to get on. The time goes by so fast. But Vaidehi, after we see this clip, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about what we just saw. So now that was really interesting. Tell us a little bit about what that was.
Yeah, so it's actually the same song, and it's my favorite of the 7 songs I've made so far. I have like 20 more that I'm in the process of recording. And you can, by the way, just find my music by looking up my name, Vaidehi Amair. I have 3 songs out right now, but I'm about to drip release 3 more. They're done. And then the last one will come shortly after. So that verse is actually a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very robust compilation of, you know, the understanding of what is this universe, what is material existence, what is the human being, what is the soul. It describes everything. It's a very beautiful piece of scripture. And the meaning of that verse is, you know, one who can accept and acknowledge and be accountable for the reaction, right, or the reactions of their actions, while maintaining humility and a sense of prayer to the divine, right, without blaming the environment, but one who can really honor their own reactions of their actions and continue to submit to the divine, that person will always be victorious. And so this verse, you know, in the material world, we're always afflicted by 3 modes of suffering is one of the things that the Vedas describe, right? The suffering that comes from our own mind, Adi Atmika, the suffering that comes from other living entities, Adi Bautika, and the suffering that can come from, you know, the natural disasters, right? Adi Daivika, related to the Devatas, right? The tsunamis, the fires, the this, the that. And so we're always afflicted by some form of disturbance, but if we can just remember, hey, this is a part of my karmic experience, right? So there's a very deep meaning behind that, and it's become a source of shelter for me, that verse. But that character, that is my like G character, and that G character is inspired by my guru, because I felt he passed away in 2010, but so gangster, right? In his conviction, in his expression, in his speaking, there's this weight, there's this power. And so I always am like, gosh, they are the most gangster. And like that as a good thing, right? Like in the hip hop world, right? There's this vibe. And so I get to be like, you know, spirit, to be spiritual doesn't mean to always just be meek and humble and impoverished and silent and tolerating and submissive. That's not even my nature. Like, my nature is to be bold, present, straightforward, and I've always been that way. And so I got a lot of validation and encouragement from my guru to sing to the whole world and to share this message, very personal instruction and blessings. And so that's, you know, with this music and with my love for hip hop and who I am, I get to embody that. I don't have to hide that anymore. I don't have to just wear a sari and my hair tied and my, you know, bindi and tilak. I get to become that person that, you know, one time I said to my guru, I feel like a volcano, right? I get to be that person. So that's what that is just me being able to step into that space and just be in that vibe and remember that message.
You're doing it beautifully. As one of our people in our Zoom room says, Susan writes, your mixing of culture is very attractive. You're bringing spirituality to new audiences, and that's absolutely right. I've put this link into the chat box, but this is where we can learn all about Vaidehi's upcoming programs, events, workshops, and classes. She does vocal awakening training, and you've got 31 days to feminine awakening. That's going to be starting in March. So this is the place to go to get more information about the wonderful offerings. And I certainly am imagining, hopefully you'll be back on our show. Let's bring you back in the spring so you can promote what you're going to be doing in March. How's that sound?
Yes, I look forward to that. Yes, please check out that page. I teach movement. I teach moon ceremonies to help people get in alignment. And the vocal awakening is meant to be a journey and a course where you can learn mantra and open your voice and learn songwriting and how to channel those emotions through music. So definitely check it out. When you click on that, it'll take you to a landing page with more information about the course. And you can always find me on Instagram, send me messages, but that website, that link will be a great space to start, and I will meet you on the other side to help support you in any way.
Thank you, Vaidehi. You are a force of nature, and clearly we look forward to tracking you and all the wonderful things you're going to be doing in the future. Take
Thank
care.
you.
See you soon.
All glories to my guru.
Well, Tanjila, we get to say goodbye to one force of nature and bring on another one. And I know that you and I are both big fans of Nina Grae. And so I'm so grateful that she was available to join us. There she is. Hello, Nina.
Hi. I'm in a daze. Vaidehi, I want to be your friend. Can
Oh,
we be friends? Can we be sister friends?
Yes, please. I feel that too. When I saw you, I was like, oh my goodness. Yes, please.
Wow. Okay. I feel like we already have the same necklace on, so I think that it's the
Yes.
start of something good.
Yes,
So
please.
inspired. Thank you for your work, your voice, your devotion. Your devotion is so inspiring.
mhm,
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Scott, for your devotion on creating this sacred container and inviting me in so many times to be with the community and share my voice and perspective. It's a real blessing. A
Thank
real blessing. And so good to be here with you, Tanjila.
you. It's we're blessed, and I want to just acknowledge all the people watching. You know, we all, in our own unique ways, are contributing to the awakening of our planet. And you know, the people that are on camera are the ones that, you know, it's a little bit more obvious what they're doing. But I want to acknowledge that everybody watching, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're in the Zoom room, we all in our own unique ways, whether it's by being a wonderful parent, whether it's by being a teacher or a health practitioner, we all are playing our role. And Nina Grae, you are playing your role especially well, I must say.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love that you presence that because, you know, when you were speaking earlier about, activism and me being an activist, and I was thinking like, wow, this past year, have I been in the streets? Have I been as much of a community organizer as I've been in the past? And the answer is no. And at the core of activism for me is freedom, and standing for the freedom internally, mentally, spiritually, physically, for all of us. And it's like, if some of us are unfree, then none of us are free. And this past year journey has been uh, an act of reclamation of some of the spaces I was unfree. And so I love that you presence that we're all in these different phases of showing up and being a part of this awakening world, because our radical acts of freeing ourselves from that which blinds us, keeps us small, keeps us in fear, um, that vibrational shift, then going out into the world or just existing in that is the awakening world. And I've never had more respect for parents than I have in the past year, dating a partner, my first time dating a woman who has a 2-year-old child who I'm hanging out with right now. And, I think in our youth, we're like, we got to go out and change the world. And then you start to care for a child and you're like, this is it though, right? Like there's so many levels to, watering the flowers in your own yard and treating the people in your closest circle with respect and presence and patience. And there have been some really beautiful and some hard lessons this year in that, and I'm grateful for it all, and grateful for the journey of the expansion of what being part of this awakening world means and looks like.
Yeah, and it is a really diverse number of ways to do it. And the key is doing whatever it is we're doing, for it to be really doing it with love.
Amen.
Like not being in reaction and against what we don't like, but making sure that we're moving toward what we do want. We had Reverend Michael Beckwith on the show, and he said, don't worry about being against the old paradigm, because that's naturally going to fall apart. Our job is to build the new world and to do it with love. And that's what you and Tanjila both, and myself and the people that we have on the show, we're all, in our own way, we are building the new world, the new paradigm. And I think what most of us have in common is doing it with joyfulness, doing it with love,
Right. I mean, all glory to Michael Beckwith, who's been such a teacher in my life, and Agape Center, and like coming back, it really simplifies things to come back to that frequency of how are you showing up and where are you coming from. And you can be the most righteous, the most, I'm going to shift this. But if the vibrational seed of love is not there, like we're recreating the same paradigm that hasn't worked. So
Exactly.
really,
And it's important for all of us to keep looking at, where am I falling into self-righteousness?
Yeah. And I love, Nina, what you were saying about, for you this year has been a lot about your own personal freedom and steps in that. And I think that is so powerful, because we can always get caught up in this idea that we have to be doing something big,
right,
when, the biggest things that we do are actually the smallest steps that we take for ourselves. Because when we begin to give ourselves permission just to be who we are, that liberates the entire world. And so, you're just sharing that story of your journey is just so powerful for all of us. It's just like Vaidehi also sharing your journey of liberating yourself from the confines of who you thought you were supposed to be. I mean, that is what freedom is about for all of us. Appreciate all of you so much for really, showing this to everyone in such a powerful way.
Thank you. The never-ending journey to like reveal and remove the layers, unlearn it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to follow whatever season we're in. Like you said, there have been maybe years where being an activist was out on the streets. And then there's years where it's like going within and getting our new marching orders I know
Mm.
Sherry Anderson's with us. He likes to call it the home office, you know, what the home office wants us to do. I know,
Right.
Tanjila, you've gone through, you know, where you were like really doing one thing and then a big change, and then you're doing, now you're doing Soul Search, you know.
Mm.
And so I just want to acknowledge, because I'm sure there are people watching right now who might be in an in-between phase, you know, maybe they've just left a job, or they're leaving a job, or they're leaving a relationship, or they're leaving something significant in their life and they don't know what's next.
Mm.
And that's a tender time. That's a really precious and tender time
Mm.
that I know all three of us have had those moments in our life. And it's
Ooh.
important for those of us that are in the spotlight to recognize that there are those periods where you're in between chapters.
Absolutely.
And that we really have no idea sometimes what the next step is or where we're going to go. And we just have to trust and surrender, you know? So that is just part of all of our journeys. I mean, I would never have thought, if you told me a few years ago, oh, you'll have a platform for spirituality and consciousness and be online talking about multidimensionality, I would have been like, I don't know what world you're living in. So, you know, like, but we get pushed in a lot of different ways, and the universe conspires in our favor, even if we think things are falling apart. So
That's
it's
it.
the journey that we're all on together, never ending, for sure.
That's
Like
it.
Eleanor was saying.
Nita, tell us a little bit more about your journey. You know, we've heard you sing, and I know you're going to sing again, but you know, this is a moment I'd love for you to share with people your journey. How have you transformed in this
Mm.
lifetime?
Goodness. Thank you for asking the question. You know, I inspired by Vaidehi's kind of story of um, uh, being born into a certain confine. My father was a Baptist reverend, and coming back to that seed of like, is love present here? A lot of the teachings and a lot of the gospel that I heard didn't feel like it resonated with the frequency of love. And there was a lot of judgment woven into the principles and the teachings. And so um, in my early adolescence, I claimed to be an atheist and just rejected the whole meaning of God altogether. And you know, in some ways that came with suffering, because life seemed I was very short-sighted, and not really living for a joyful future. It felt like a kind of a survival and kind of a egotistical existence. And you know, had a few experiences that really cracked me open emotionally, some of them trauma, some of them deep love and romance. And both brought me to the book A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle when I was 21, which gave me that like Satori light switch, and that recognition for the first time of what God could be in this frequency of loving awareness, presence, hearing the birds sing, feeling the sun, feeling a genuine like joy to be alive. And that, although it came in and out for a few years as I was walking this new path, those steps have led me to bringing that energy into my music, my gatherings, my how I like to talk and show up. And I'm forever grateful for the journey, because I think it's sometimes you don't like it's kind of cliche, but you don't appreciate something unless sometimes it's taken away or you don't have it. And like the deep love I have for my definition of God, Mother, Father, God, Creator, it's like this three-pronged energy socket that I just like zing my being into, that resonates in my heart. And it's like I can't imagine existing without it. And I give ultimate gratitude for it every day. And to your point, Scott, of, you know, being in that lost space, like before I encountered A New Earth, I was walking this tech sales business path in San Francisco after college and marketing and doing this smart thing. And I felt my soul just dying. And so I quit and started going to open mics and writing more songs, and just being more devoted to what was making me feel alive. And so for anybody, I guess, that is watching now, that is in that in-between space, that has maybe left what they know doesn't resonate with them, but doesn't know the next step, it's like a surrendered, deep faith that there's a seed in you that came here to be, to serve, to love, to fit into this cosmic puzzle that only you can fit your piece into, and praying to whatever entity name you want to give it, and asking for guidance, and humbly saying, I don't know with my own mind, but I am so open to be shown. I am so open for signs. I am so open for guidance. I am so open for that book, that introduction, that uh, invite to that party or gathering that is going to get me to my next step. The answers are there, willing and waiting for you. Sometimes we just have to ask. So keep asking, keep believing.
Is there anything that you'd be willing to share about your life's journey, where you hit something that seemed really hard, or even like a big disappointment, but then in hindsight saw that it was actually a blessing?
Yes. Without going into like major details, because I do want to keep this like in the spirit of like evolving lightness. But when I was 14, there was an instance where I went to a party, was trying to fit in, and drank too much. Was unconscious in a bedroom where a senior boy in high school took advantage of me and filmed the incident and passed the film around school. And at that time, my sense of self just like broke. I developed paranoia, eating disorder, deep depression, avoidance of being seen. And that break in my psyche at the time just drew me into kind of a reclusive state. And so again, finding that Eckhart Tolle's book that like brought the light back into my spirit and my life and my soul. Now I feel as though, we have the phrase trauma survivor, but I do feel as though like the power in my music and the connection that I have with people was born from this like thriving from trauma and transmuting and alchemizing it into understanding deeply like how these patriarchal energies can be very harmful to women, to the planet, to a whole aspect of existence, and how powerful the light can be when re-fortified with love and a resilience and a willingness to let go of bitterness, but to be fiercely committed to bringing the truth of how valuable the feminine spirit is, how valuable the presence of love is, and how important it is to like respect earth, one another, earth and one another.
Wow. Yeah, I did not know that part of your story at all. And it's funny, I just got that inspiration to ask you that question. And
Thank you for
so,
asking.
thank you for sharing that. And, I think it's, obviously what a horrific thing to happen to a teenage girl on so many levels. Like there's like four different parts of that story that are all really, really hard. And to see that you've come through it as such a lover still, and I have worked with you enough to see that everything you do with love. And I love what you acknowledged, and I've kind of seen it because we're friends on Facebook, that you're partnering now with a woman, and it's celebrating, and it's beautiful seeing the photos of the two of you together. And again, what a beautiful new experience for you. And
Thank you.
love is love.
It is. And the one thing I'll say about that, where it's like the universe's mother, father, God's funny sense of humor. I was involved in a lot of combo ceremonies in 2020 and 2021. And one of my prayers as I was purging and really getting clear on what kind of partnership I was drawing in, I was saying out loud and holding in my heart, I am ready to embrace and stand with a healed, healthy, masculine soul. And so the universe was like, here you go. And it was this, masculine of center, incredible woman born of a woman body. And but the soul is everything I could have ever imagined, in the sense of understanding deeply a woman, standing in that like masculine energy to meet my feminine. And at that point I can't really have qualms. I'm like, the energy up here knows what it's doing. I appreciate the sense of humor, and thank you for delivering this beautiful, beautiful soul into my life.
I love that story. I love
Mm.
that. Tanjila, is there anything you'd like to ask or share with Nina?
Well, I mean, Nina, thank you so much for sharing that story. I mean, it was very powerful and very touching just to hear about your journey and how now you look back at that experience and you're able to really, look at it in a different light. And so, and how has that really affected, I know you just mentioned a little bit, but how has that affected your music and your being an artist and the energy that you bring forth into all of your creativity? Because you come forth with such power and passion and depth of purpose. And, like, I'd love to hear like where you feel all of that energy and purpose and passion is coming from as you create.
Sure. I think, the abridged version and answer is like, this light will not ever be extinguished. And that exists for me, that exists for us. And any force that attempts to do so, those attempts will be futile, because it cannot be extinguished. And I feel that in the depths of my soul. And I know that about the goodness that exists in humanity as well, and on this planet. And so tapping into that is such a fuel for my work, and a reflection of the journey that I've walked.
Thank you so much. And thank you for that, because that is just so beautiful, that to say that our light cannot be extinguished. My light cannot be extinguished no matter what.
Never.
I am here burning bright.
Yes, the sun that exists above the cloud layer that is eternally energizing.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for, just emanating that light for all of us and being that example of freedom.
Thank you.
For anybody who in the audience is watching and you're in a dark time, because I'm sure there are some people in dark time right now. I know a lot of my clients are in dark times. I love what she just said, what Nina just said about how the sun is always above that fog, above those clouds.
And above your head right now.
Right. Nina, would you be willing to bless us with a song?
I would love to. This was a song written at the 2017 inauguration. I was feeling a lot of things, as I know a lot of us were. And it continues to be a question and a song that I love to share. So the inquiry, the question, if you want to type your answer in the chat, what is your legacy? Are you looking to be entertained? I don't know if I can help today. So many questions on my heart, on my brain. No, I don't wanna just entertain you. Are you looking for distraction? I mean, is that your course of action? Don't get me wrong, there is a time and place for fun, but I ain't looking to distract no one. 'Cause there's change brewing, no longer is it deep beneath the surface. The way this train's moving is forcing us to think about our purpose. I'm not scared to sing revolution. My soul won't rest until we find solutions. It might take all day
rest of our lives, but it's worth a try. 'Cause in a few years, our bodies return to the earth. Our bones and blood will become one with the dirt. And I know you want your moves to matter, so the young souls know that love is all we were after. What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? I wanna know, what are we fighting for? Why are we dying for? What do we stand for? What do you stand for? What do I stand for? What do we stand for?
Thank you.
Going to gallery view for us to turn on our cameras and twinkle. That beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you so much. If you feel inspired, like I said, to write in the chat what you do stand for. I haven't checked it, but I'd love to know.
I think we were all so just enraptured. Now people can write because we were also enraptured in watching. Like I couldn't even go to other, sometimes during songs, I'll go to see, people dancing and moving. And honestly, what you just did was so powerful. The way that you express through your song, I couldn't do anything other than just watch. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was so powerful, Nina. Thank you so much. And it was just so amazing to, the words of your song and asking everyone, what is your legacy? But it's not, you're like, I'm not just here to entertain. What am I here to do? Really, it's such a call to all of us to like, wait, what is my legacy?
Thank you. I think as artists, we all ask ourselves that question, or we maybe have all been in that room where we're background noise and it doesn't matter. And so, yeah, may we all be standing front and center, main character energy of our lives.
What a beautiful song for the new year too, for contemplating, this year that we've just had and thinking about what we're bringing in for 2023.
Bless. Yes. Thank you so much for this space. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here.
We're getting close to the 3-year anniversary of when we started doing the Saturday Night Live. It'll be in April 1st. And, the shows that you've done, Nina, you usually are someone that we turn to when we're wanting to do something, on one of our more socially oriented shows. And every song that you've provided has always been so powerful and so dynamic on whatever the theme was, whether it's Martin Luther King theme. And when we were talking about your new relationship, I remembered that you did a wonderful video for us, and I did go and I just found it. And I'm going to play it again. And this is her. I love this video that she created this for us. And then I noted it, and it's all about what we were just talking about. It's love is love. So we're going to get a little, this is spontaneous Scott going, oh, we've got this video, and I found it. So here it is. And it's absolutely awesome. So love is love.
Is there a right way? Or can we get it wrong? When we love someone, when we're loving someone, if it were up to Jesus, think he'd open up his arms to really love someone, to really love everyone. Love is what they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. Love is what they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lives, it's all the same on the inside. What they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lights, it's all the same on the inside. Love is what they say, ain't that what matters in the end anyway? Different colors and different lights, it's all the same on the inside.
Absolutely one of my favorite videos we've ever had on the show. It's just so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I remember you saying we were having this show and like, you want to share something of this relevance, and it was inspiration to write a song like that. So thank you for continuing to put out the invitation and, creating a space where inspiration can thrive.
Well, thank you. And it's, first of all, it's an amazing song, and the way you sing it and present it, but then all the little videos you added, everything from Jesus dancing, and it's such a beautiful example of creative expression and just so heart-opening. And again, what a wonderful way to celebrate the many forms of love.
Bless. Thank you. Thank you. All the forms.
Well, all right. We've got Paul Draper waiting, so I am going to, unfortunately, keep on moving forward. But I want to just remind everybody that Nina, her website is her name. It's Nina Grae, spelled Nina Grae, ninagrae.com. And that's where you can find out all sorts of things about her. And one of the wonderful things she offers is one-on-one vocal sessions. So tell us a little bit about this. You actually work one-on-one with people on opening their voice.
I do. I love working with people that feel as though they have this calling to use it, but somehow shut it down or convince themselves they are not a singer, are not supposed to be leading groups or guiding meditations. And we just get rid of those narratives. We replace those narratives. We send them away with love, and we get to practice owning our voice. And I host virtual sessions and in-person sessions. And I love working with people that are ready to step in and accept this gift that they were given.
Mhm. Well, you are a gift, and I certainly look forward to hopefully many, many more opportunities for us to collaborate and to connect.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Mhm.
Bless. Thank you so much.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. And I'm going to put the link. People are asking for the link to the video we just saw. The love is love. I'll
Awesome.
put that link into the chat box in a moment.
Thank you. Oh, wait,
Take
bye.
care.
Bye.
And tell us the name of the little one we're looking at.
This is Mecca.
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 Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh.
Bye.
Well, Tanjila, isn't she amazing? She's
Oh my God, incredible. I mean, both of her songs were just amazing, amazing, amazing. So, wow, beautiful. I'm blown away.
Well, we're going to go from one form of magic to another form of magic and one hero to another one. And this is Paul Draper. There he is.
Hello.
Hey, Paul. Now, we're honoring Paul, Tanjila, because one of the things I learned, he's one of our absolute favorite artists and has been on the show many times doing magic, but he, during the pandemic, would announce, if you've got a senior citizen home or, people that are needing support, I'm offering free magic shows. Now, this is how he makes his living, is by doing magic. But I learned that he was, during the pandemic, doing sometimes several a day, and he did over 500 free programs, free shows.
Yeah.
Paul, tell us about some of the experiences, some of those 500 that stand out for you, where it really made a difference in somebody's life.
It was, first, I want to say there was a selfish element to it as well, in that I was trying to learn the new medium of performing magic and entertainment in this space. And so I needed some place to try things and do things. But very often we can do great good in the world if we combine those two, trying to improve ourselves and give back to others. And so, yes, like you said, at the start of the pandemic, right before the pandemic ended, I was performing at Disneyland, and Disneyland shut down, and I still was performing at Disney for a few days. After they closed the gates, I stood in front of the gates, and for a few days in 2020, I was the magic of Disney. I was all of Disney that people in the hotels were able to see. And then as I drove home, I thought to myself, there are kids who are turning 6, 7, and 8 years old that can't have a birthday party. There are kids that are losing parents and family members to this illness. There are people that are going to be stuck at home for some period of time. Now, I thought it was going to be like the bird flu, and it was going to be 2 months, right? Who thought 3 years, right? But so I said at first, I'm going to give away a free show every single day to kids in Title I schools, homeless shelters, women's shelters, retirement communities, people below the poverty line, anyone who's lost a parent or a family member for any reason to anything. If you are struggling and in need, invite up to 500 friends and family members into a Zoom show. Let's gather together and share some magic and song and fun and all of that, and create this experience. And I let them have the room both before and after my show for 30 minutes on either side to spend time together and to talk and to connect, and led them through exercises about how are you feeling? Here are some words to describe how one feels, because we're not always taught what are your needs? Here are some words to describe that, because we're not always taught how to ask for what our needs are. And so I, for the first year and a half of the pandemic, I was doing this every single day, at least one a day. At the same time, performing up to 6, corporate magic and mind reading shows for people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's funny. I can relate because when the pandemic began, I had planned on doing a fundraising event for my good friend Fantuzzi.
Right.
And Deborah Giusti and I were going to do this event together, and then the pandemic happened and social distancing and all that. So
Right.
we switched it to online, and that is what became Saturday Night Alive for the
Right.
Global Peace Tribe. And like yourself, we thought it was going to last for a couple of months. So people said, oh, hey, Scott, can we do this like every Saturday night? We thought for a month or two. Well, here we are, almost 3 years later, still doing it, right?
No, right.
And I
And
think,
so, no, some experiences, but like you asked for specific experiences. I mean, I'd have kids at Ronald McDonald houses that were all hooked up, right? And some of the hospitals, most of the hospitals, they didn't allow me to see the kids. There was an intermediary who I would see the intermediary, and then I was broadcast into all the hospital rooms. I did, over 100 oncology kids that were battling cancer. And I brought in Broadway singers from different Broadway shows on Zoom, from Phantom and Hamilton and other things, to sing with me and be with me. But a couple of the shows, the Royal McDonald House in particular, they would let me see the kids and interact with them. And it's hard because they're all, hooked up and they're having a hard time, but they would brighten up. And when you say their name and something that they want to have happen on screen happens, it's the difference between seeing Barney the dinosaur or Dora the Explorer, or they say to you, hey, can you say yellow? And the kids say yellow, and then it's yellow, right? But here the kid got to decide what happened on my end of the screen. And so if I find out that the kid loves Legos, right, I'd say, oh, look, I have some Legos here. They're all different colors. Which one's your favorite color? And the little kid would say red, and I'd say red, mine too. And I could make that happen. So, what's your favorite Disney movie? Oh, your favorite Disney movie's Aladdin. And who's your favorite animal? Raja the tiger. Well, there's Raja the tiger, right? So I could make the engagement happen through the screen where they had the power. Or recently, I've been doing lots of shows for these kids that are in shelters in countries surrounding the Ukraine, and so their homes have been destroyed. They've been displaced. They're in a country where they don't speak the language, where they don't have a lot of family, where they don't know what's happened to their fathers and brothers, and so I've interacted with them a lot. And wow, to them, wow, this person from America is coming in and spending time with us and cares about us, right? And I've set up, so we have some Hanukkah, we have some Yule, we have some Christmas. Every season I change my set so that I'm helping celebrate with them, because they may not get to go out to the mall or the Bellagio Gardens or somewhere beautiful. They may not have access to Christmas lights except for to spend a little time with me. So it's been important to create all of that for people as well. Yeah.
So now I just saw your message about a New Year's video.
Yeah.
So tell me, is this something we should show now, or
if you want to? Magic. Okay. So no, well, what that is I made that actually a couple years ago. So start at 10 seconds in,
okay.
But that's the song Old Lang Syne. I decided to sing that because and share it with people, because it's such a pretty song, and you don't usually get to hear it, all the way through. You just hear the one sentence of it. So I just thought that might be cute to share.
All right, here we go. I'm going to play it. I've never seen this video, kids, so I don't know what to expect. I've got it at 10 seconds. So here we go. Oh.
He forgot.
You'll have to spotlight it.
Never
come to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot, and old lang syne, for old lang syne, my Joe, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. We too have run about the hills, we've picked the daisies fine, we've wandered many a weary path since old lang syne, for old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne, for old lang syne, my friend, for old lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Happy New Year. May it be the start of a wonderful year for all of us. And I hope to see you in the new year, my friend. Be safe.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
Well, everybody else got to sing. I wanted to sing.
Okay,
Beautiful.
can I play that video again tomorrow night as part of
Sure.
the New Year's Eve show?
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
So, but yeah, I've started to go back to some live and in-person shows again. Last night I had a corporate buyout at the Paris in Las Vegas. So I was up at the Eiffel Tower restaurant, right, performing up there with the Bellagio fountains as my backdrop. That was beautiful.
Wow.
And tomorrow night I have a in-person show for New Year's at a up at Sundance, where they have the Sundance Film Festival in Park City. I'll be up there for that event. So you know, it's fun getting to travel the world and share magic. The other day, a friend of mine from childhood said, "So at what point did you decide to do magic for a living?" And the answer, I think, is I think I had a kindergarten or first grade teacher have a show and tell event where my job is to show something I like and tell a story about it. And I never stopped doing that.
Isn't that amazing, actually, how at an early age we can have a moment like that?
Yeah.
They go, that's this, and then it becomes chicken or the egg. Was it that moment that set me on my path, or was that moment just a reflection of what I knew I was here to do?
Right.
Yeah. George Noble has a good one. He says, "You are a singing hero, from an
Yes!
unsung hero to a singing hero."
As opposed to an unsung hero, we're singing heroes. And thank you. And yes, like you said, Mystic Wild Abbott just said, I've been teaching famous magicians around the world. Yeah, Copperfield's come to my shows. Penn and Teller have. The inventor of Siri did. Chevy Chase has showed up for many of my shows. I've done a bunch with Broadway stars, Jim Gaffigan. Other people have shown up because even they, I mean, even Copperfield for a big chunk of the pandemic was alone at home, bored, and so everybody from poor kids in the Bengali region of India who I performed for to raising money for boys and girls clubs in Hawaii and all over the world to I had the American Psychological Association hire me for a couple of Zoom shows and talks because they were dealing with the trauma. Even psychologists and therapists and all of them were dealing with trauma of being alone and helping others and needed someone to help uplift them. And so all of us, in this community, that's our magic gift, is to uplift others.
I want to read a couple of the comments that have come in. Sylvia Nitya writes, thank you, Paul. My parents had a neighborhood party on New Year's Eve every year, and singing Auld Lang Syne was a centerpiece. My father died when I was a teenager. Dia writes, Paul, that was truly the most wonderful expression of Auld Lang Syne I've ever heard.
Oh, thank you. Well, your stories you tell of your dad and your memories of him, he lives on. We have 3 deaths, right? When we die, and our final death is when no one talks about us anymore. So keep telling the stories.
That I've never heard it said that way. That's beautiful. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Well, Paul, you are here. I'm just wondering, can we get a little bit of magic?
Yeah, let's do it. Spotlight
Yeah,
me on the screen for everybody, and let me show you something.
Now, do you need someone to work with?
Sure. Do we have somebody from the audience who wants to play?
Here, I'll open up the gallery view. Who wants to play with Paul? Raise your hand.
Somebody come play.
Vaidehi, there you go. All right.
Hello. Okay, you're going to help me. You and I have never met before. Is that right?
That's right. Hi,
and
Paul.
Nobody told you what to say or do, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I have my business card case, and I have one of my business cards. That's me. I'm a mentalist, anthropologist, and speaker. I also teach anthropology at a university. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Inspire, educate, entertain. I'm going to write down a 3-digit number. I'm going to write down a 3-digit number, and then I'm going to hide it inside my business card case so you can't see it and so that I can't change it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So yes, lately I've been teaching intercultural religions at Soka University, a Buddhist university in California. Here, think about a number from 1 to 1,000, actually 1 to 999, 3 digits. What's the first digit in that number? What 100, 200, 300? What's the first digit?
300.
300. What's the second digit?
It is 1.
301. And what's the third and final digit?
5.
315. 315. Now, before we even started, I scribbled down a 3-digit number, and only one person out of 999 will get it right. If I wrote down 315, you're that 1 in a million, and I think you are.
What?
315. How did you know? You did such a good job. Thanks so much. You can remove her spotlight, and I'll do something direct to camera. This is something I've shared before. Thank you for helping me. This is something I've shared before. You're a psychic. Now you have to come to Vegas. Just remember, the best odds in the casino, play the change machine. You'll always break even. The gamble more money than you would be willing to throw out the window as you're driving to Vegas. Here we go. I went to Michael's, and I grabbed some crepe paper, and I cut out some little paper shapes. Can you guess what it's going to be? I have 2 shapes, one inside of the other, little paper hearts. I've noticed people lately online have been fighting. Why? Because they can't see eye to eye, and they can't hug, and they can't hear emotional expression. And so they read each other's messages in a voice of a mean person in their head. And sometimes that makes them fight. Some people have been fighting because they're at home too close for too long, and they don't know how to create proper boundaries or proper space or share their needs. And when we fight, it hurts, it tears at us. Ow! And we don't know what to do with that hurt. Ow! And we don't know who we can talk with. Ow. Sometimes we can share with a parent. Sometimes a parent is the wrong person to share with. Sometimes we can share with a friend. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes a clergy member. Sometimes we can't. Sometimes a therapist or a psychologist or a doctor or a mentor. For too many people, it's a bartender. Don't do that. We have to find someone we can share with, someone who can hear our pain, someone who can commiserate with us so that we don't stay wrapped up in all of that anger. Because as long as we stay wrapped up in that anger, it doesn't hurt the person we're mad at. No, it hurts us. We need to find a way to heal We need to find a way to come back together, a way to become whole, a way to renew, a way to share in new ways like we are today here on Zoom.
Wow.
Thank you for letting me share that with you.
Aw.
Yeah, I love the way you tell that story. I'm going to go to gallery reviews. You can see everybody applaud. Let's give them some
Yay!
Global Peace Tribe
Yay!
there.
Yeah, sign language applause is like this. That comes from Indigenous applause, Native American applause. I said, I'm an anthropologist, but I also run the inclusivity, diversity, and equity committees for the Magic Circle in London, England, and the Magic Castle in Hollywood, and the Inclusion Center in the Intermountain West. So yeah, so that's important to me.
Wow.
It
I
is
love what you're doing, Paul. So amazing. Thank you so much for just bringing so much joy and awe and wonder to everyone's lives. I mean, that's what it's all about. And the fact that you do this for so many children and just people around the world who I think, who the smile just probably changes their whole week, month, year.
Everything changed when I realized my job in life was to celebrate other people.
Mhm.
That's it. That changed everything.
Wow.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
But you're in good company, because that's something about Tanjila too. Tanjila is so good at celebrating other people, all the people she supports through Soul Search. So you both have that in common.
But thank
And
you
we
both for
can-
such inspiration. I'm like really inspired by all of the work that I knew about it, but then just to hear it again and see, I'm really amazing. Thank you. You really are
Khadafis,
a
merci,
hero
thank you.
and a magician hero.
Yeah.
Really, Paul, thank you. Thank you for being who you are. And it's wonderful to get to know you, more and more deeply as our Global Peace Tribe grows. And you're in Southern California, and our next retreat is probably going to be in Southern California. So I'm just hoping that we might get a chance to meet you. We had our first retreat in October. Of course, Tanjila and a lot of the people here were with us, and it was a big success. So we're going to do it again, and we'll have to schedule at a time when hopefully you can come and join us live.
And if anybody needs a free magic show, Paul at pauldraper.com. But if you work for Facebook or HP or someone else, paid magic show at pauldraper.com.
Absolutely. And there it is. Here's his website. I put it into the chat box, but for those of you watching on Facebook, it's his name, pauldraper.com. Definitely make sure you give your email address so that, I've done this a few times, so I'm going to get, more from him, which is nice. But definitely come on in, and there we go. Subscribe and be a part of the Paul Draper experience. Paul, it's such a pleasure, and thank you for being who you are in this world. You are.
Thank you. So nice to share with you. I'm excited to learn about our fourth person.
Well, you know who our fourth person is? It's Tanjila.
Oh, Tanjila.
Yeah, she is doing double duty. She's here as my co-host, but really we want to celebrate you, Tanjila, for all that you do with Soul Search. And because I work with you, I know you are really one of the hardest working people I know, but yet she's balanced. She's got a good boyfriend, and she's healthy. But I really want to acknowledge all that you're doing, and maybe give you a moment to share with the audience. Just go a little bit slow. Share with us a little bit about what you're up to and what you're doing now and in the new year.
Sure. So thank you so much, Scott. I mean, it's been such an amazing year with Soul Search and growing our community and working with you, Scott, and the whole Global Peace Tribe. And, we've been able to do so much together, from these online shows to conferences, the music festival, retreats, and all of that's going to continue in 2023 and more. So we're just so excited to continue, growing and building both the online spiritual and consciousness community of friendship and just heart opening. I mean, that's really what this is all about for me. It's like, I think that was the theme today with so many of us. It's just like, where do we fit in? How do, like for me, growing up Muslim, growing up in Saudi Arabia, being from Bangladesh, I grew up in a way that I really didn't have the permission to really be myself in any way whatsoever. And, and what, religion didn't make sense to me as spirituality. And I was in a lot of confusion, all the time, just because not knowing who I was and how I fit in. And so many of us are in that space, all over the world. And, especially as women, like I just loved seeing Vaidehi's videos, because that is, you're so liberated, Vaidehi, and who you are and how you can express yourself. And for most women around the world, we can't do that. Not because we're not, because we just feel we are not allowed to. We feel we don't have the permission to be our goddess selves, to be the empowered divine feminine of that we are. And it's something that I'm still, working with and working through. It's not something that I've found a solution to yet either, but it's just, being a part of a spiritual community of spiritual friends who are so supportive and loving and understanding and see you for who you really are, then can give you that support where you can be like, you know what, I'm going to break free from everything I've been taught is who I am, to do something different, to be me. So it's a journey for each one of us, and we're not alone. And that's what Soul Search really is about for me, is just that none of us are alone, and we can do this together, and we are creating the new earth together. So I'm super excited about, and we have so many new events. We have an online conference this January 7th called Becoming the Quantum Human Evolution. It's a free online conference for anyone who'd like to attend. It's panels over from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., just talking about different aspects, release and surrender, curiosity and vulnerability, new healing modalities for the new paradigm. So a lot of different topics that we'll be delving into to activate the new you for the new year. So that will be this January 7th. It's free, and you can just register online, and we'll send you the Zoom link, and you can come in, interact with us, and have Q&A. Yep, those are our 5 panels. And then we also have upcoming psychic fairs in person. If you are in Scottsdale, Arizona, or around, January 14th, another one in San Rafael, California, February 25th, and a lot more to come. So, I just invite all of you guys to, if you're not a member of the Soul Search community, to join. There's no cost to be a part of our community. If you're a practitioner and a healer, you can showcase who you are, all of your gifts, your services, your offers. And really at Soul Search, that's a huge commitment of ours, is to let people around the world know that you're not alone, and that you have an infinite amount of gifts, modalities, and support available to you to help you on your journey. Because so many of us feel like, I don't have any options. I just have my doctor, I have a therapist, none of this is working. Where do I go from here? Whether it's relationship issues, whether it's health, whether it's money, people just feel stuck in their lives, and they don't realize, like, you could do past life regression, you could be seeing a love coach, you can be doing shamanic journey, you could be doing ceremonies. There's a plethora of options that we have, but most people have no clue. So that's what we're here to really showcase and let people know, that there's incredible healers available around the world to help you support you in your journey. And that's what this is all about. And the more support that we can give one another, the more we can all rise together. So that's what this is all about, Scott.
It sure is. Well, beautiful. I want to go one more time, actually, to your website. So here it is, soulsearch.io. soulsearch.io. And, if you haven't joined already, please do. This is a wonderful, wonderful way for us to connect. We are going to see all sorts of wonderful things happening. You can learn all about the events that she talked about, the Quantum Human Conference, the different psychic fairs, one in San Rafael coming up. And I know a lot of our people are in the Bay Area. I gave a little presentation at her last one in San Rafael. And looking forward to the next one as well. So,
exactly. And Scott, also, I just forgot to mention that we are also launching Soul Search TV in January, and that will be a channel that will be available on Amazon, on Roku, on Android TV, as well as its own app. And we're going to have all different types of conscious programming available for all of you guys at no charge. So stay tuned. We're going to be sharing a lot more about that soon too.
fabulous. Oh, gosh, I'm getting exhausted just listening to all the things you're doing.
Well, I'm excited, and I'm excited to keep working with you, Scott. We have lots planned together for the new year.
You do. And along those lines, we are looking at possibly doing the next Global Peace Tribe retreat in collaboration with maybe a psychic fair or good stuff. And we're really looking at the last weekend of March. There's going to be a big event on March 28th in Los Angeles. Ben Bowler is putting it together. Pato and Antoinette are going to be performing there. Kristen Hoffman will be there live performing. And so we're looking at maybe doing the next Global Peace Tribe retreat. So the big event in LA is Tuesday, March 28th. On Wednesday, the 29th, Pato and Antoinette and Kristen are planning something. So we might start our Global Peace Tribe retreat on that Thursday. And then somewhere in the weekend, 1 or 2 days, possibly even have a psychic fair with Tanjila. So we're all looking at if we can kind of coordinate that, find the right locations, find the right dates, get enough of you saying, yes, I'll come to Southern California at that time. So we'll be sending out information about it. And Connie and Andrew are with us, although they don't have their camera on. But if you guys turn your cameras on, I'd love to spotlight you because they just got married, Tanjila.
Congratulations, Connie.
There they are. There's Connie at least. Here we go. After being together for 20 years, they got married just a few days ago.
Oh, beautiful.
I think that's Andrew's hand.
Hold on.
That or else Connie has got
He married a ghost.
There he is.
Yay.
There he is. Hi, you guys. Thank you so much.
Hi. Great to see you guys.
Hi, Tanjila.
Congratulations.
Thank
Hello.
you. We're just so happy to be here and be with the family and with these beautiful, beautiful people tonight who've just shared on such deep levels. Thank you, Scott, for bringing them to us.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
And thanks for the honor of blessing us. And I'll put a little link to our little slideshow. We had a beautiful photographer took beautiful pictures of the wedding.
Oh, fantastic.
It was in the John Denver, excuse me, it was in the John Denver Sanctuary here in Aspen.
Outdoors in the snow.
I saw the pictures on Facebook, but put the slideshow in there. And then what I'll do is I'll download it and then I'll show it to everybody tomorrow night on our New Year's Eve show.
Oh, beautiful.
Sweet, sweet. Okay, yeah, it's a lovely little short thing. So thanks, Scott, and thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night on the New Year's Eve show.
Absolutely. Well, that's a good segue for me to talk about the New Year's Eve show. So thank you. We love you guys.
Love you guys. Congrats.
So, well, actually, I should start with this story first, because Eleanor Joy talked about how she really wanted to see Antoinette again. So I was putting together, the New Year's Eve plans, and I thought of Antoinette, not knowing that New Year's Day is Antoinette's birthday. And when I reached out to Antoinette, she said, Scott, the amazing thing about this is that I was telling Pato, I really want to lead a meditative visualization on my birthday. And so I tuned in. Anyway, that's all going to happen. But before we get to New Year's Day, let's talk about New Year's Eve. So New Year's Eve, our festivities online will actually begin 3 hours earlier, when Shri and Kira have a big event planned. Omashar will be playing music. I'm going to be there leading a meditation. And so if you go to shriandkira.com, you can register for their New Year's Eve program. So that's going to start at 3 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock East Coast time. And then after that will be, of course, the Awakening World. And for the Awakening World tomorrow night, not on the poster, I've just added Cornflower is going to do an opening song for us. My co-host is going to be the great Johanna Beekman. Omashar is going to play music. Shri and Kira are going to join us. Pookie Lee and Bob, who are beautiful musical artists, are going to join us. Also not on the poster, but Fanny and Vigari are going to play. So it's going to be a lot of music tomorrow night on the Awakening World New Year's Eve show. And then, as I was just saying, on New Year's Day, Antoinette will be my co-host. And we've got Ruth Anderson from the Enlightened World Network, Ava Park, who does amazing work. She created the Museum for Women down in Southern California. And we're going to be doing a lot of visioning with all of you, our audience. And we've got some practices where we can all bring in the new year together. So this is what we've got planned for this weekend. And I know that many of you have already registered for the new season. But for those of you who haven't registered the new season, please do so. While Omashar is playing our closing song, I'm going to put the link into the chat box where you can register for our new season. We are going to do another full season of The Awakening World, and we're now adding Wednesday nights. We're going to be doing shows on Wednesday nights, so there's a midweek Awakening World show. And here's the thing. If you register at the $75 level or more, you're going to get two wonderful things. You're going to get a free ticket to the New Year's Day concert. Yep. Not only do we have Secret Sunday show in the morning, but then in the afternoon, 1 o'clock Pacific time, 4 o'clock Eastern, both Cornflower and Kristen come together and they're going to do another sonic source activation concert. And they go back and forth and it just raises the vibration so high. So definitely everybody's going to want to be there. And come on in, register for the new season, register at a higher level, get a free ticket. And in addition to the free ticket to the New Year's Day show, you also can then provide a free gift subscription to the person of your choice to get a full season of The Awakening World, which is our way of growing our audience, honoring you, and creating. And don't you want your friends to be coming to these shows, meeting all these amazing people, meeting Tanjila and Vaidehi and Nina Grae and Paul Draper and all of the other wonderful people? So I know that's a lot of information we just gave. I'll pop it in the chat box. But Tanjila, before we go to Omashar, any final thoughts?
Just wanted to say thank you so much, Scott. Thanks to all of our beautiful guests. Thank you to Omashar. Thank you to everyone here at the Global Peace Tribe. Just everyone's energy. Together, we are really creating this new earth. And I'm just so excited about the acceleration that we are all creating together for 2023 and beyond. And we really can't even imagine what we are building.
Yeah, it is very exciting. Hey, you know, I'm going to embarrass or embrace another one of our audience members briefly. Mark Denisovsky also does all sorts of freebies. You know, he's this amazing accordion player. He was the hit of the retreat in October. And I just want to acknowledge you, Mark, because I know you also do a lot of benefits for senior citizen homes. And while Paul was talking about what he does, I thought of you, and then I saw you were in the Zoom room with us. So, Mark, thank you for being also an unsung hero. That's part of our beautiful Global Peace Tribe.
I'm playing music New Year's for some Alzheimer's patients tomorrow. So it's a profound thing when people have a breakthrough musically. So with memory. So, and thank you for the positive energy tonight. it was great. So
Oh, thank you. I hope to see you in Southern California soon.
I'm here. So
You know, he's going to be a big part of the next retreat. That's for sure. Thank you, Mark, for all you do.
thank
All
you.
right, let's go to Omashar. Hey, bro.
Hey there. Wow, what a phenomenal, powerful show, as always. And I just kind of lift and I expand, and I forget that I actually can do anything in this world. And during the show, I had another song for the end, but the content of the show is directed this song, which is called The Way Things Are. And so it was beautiful to have Nina on, and because I've always felt that I'm not an entertainer. I'm here to uplift and inspire. And that is my number one thing. And so here is an uplifting, inspiring song, which is the way of this show. And I loved what Tanjila just said about the acceleration, because it is. It's foot to the floor. We're all accelerating, and it's almost like I'm going so fast that everything that was in my mind that I'm trying to hang on to has no chance of being hung on at all to me. It's just like being blasted out of existence unless it's actually of value. So here we are. Here's a lovely backdrop, and then we'll go into here. What do you see when you're alone? What do you feel when you are by yourself? And how could it be that you are here? Isn't it strange the way things are? Look at the river flowing by, and look at the colors of the butterfly. How do you feel about your life? Isn't it strange the way things are? Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on in, you say, the water's fine. I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you, and it's here to lead the way. Now that you see you're not alone, and there is no such thing as by yourself, there is a hand that's lifting you into the presence of yourself. And life is a tale that never ends, and there is a purpose to each heart that beats. And you are the river flowing by. You are the colors of the butterfly. Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. Come on in, you say, The water's fine, I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you and is here to lead the way. Like a dolphin in the ocean, I can hear you calling me. And come on and you say, the water's fine, I have come to set you free. You have never been alone, my friend. I was just a thought away. And there's a deeper love that's holding you and it's here to lead the way.
Blessings, 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 blessings. Thank you so much, Omashar.
Thank you. Almost Happy New Year. Feels great already.
Wow. Well, thank you, Omashar. Thank you, Tanjila. I love collaborating with you.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for inviting me. As always, I love co-hosting and collaborating with you. And Omashar, wow, what a way to end powerful show with a powerful song. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
You know, I forgot to mention, people are asking about the relationship satsang group, and I always forget that. So I am going to do it one last time. We'll do it tomorrow morning. And so I'm opening it up to everybody. I'll pop into the chat box in a moment, the Zoom room. It's at 10 o'clock, and it's just an hour that we come together and kind of share what's going on in our lives. And so that's 10 o'clock Pacific time. And that'll be the last one I'm going to do for a little while. I'm going to take January off to just focus on all the Awakening World shows. We've got a lot of wonderful shows already planned. I'm putting together shows with Eden Amadora, Louisa Stowe, Alan Steinfeld, are all upcoming collaborators. Those are the ones off the top of my head for January alone. So we've got a lot of wonderful things. Trish will be back every Wednesday night. She will be my co-host. So I'm really excited about that. And love all of you so much. So I'm going to go to gallery view and everybody twinkle away while I pull up the link for the Zoom room for Relationship Satsang. And please do register if you haven't already registered. And remember, come on in at a little higher rate, and that way you can get the free ticket for the show that's going to be on New Year's Day, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be a really wonderful, wonderful show. I know many of you have seen them do it before, and they just do an incredible job. So here we go, Relationship Satsang. I'm pulling up the Zoom room. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Twinkle away. And you know what, people, you can come on and say Happy New Year. Turn on your microphones, turn on your cameras, and we can all say Happy New Year to each other.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Love you.
Happy New Year.
Love,
Butterfly blessings,
abundance.
everyone.
Happy New Year.
Love you, Global Peace Tribe.
Happy New Year. Love you all.
Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow night. All right.
All right, maximum
Night.
grace.